Today, we're going to talk about methylene blue. It's probably one of the highest popularity titles that is on the internet at this point as far as what people are interested in and think it's a miracle substance. Well, today, I'm going to tell you what I feel is the pluses and some of the concerns with the use of methylene blue. Methylene blue was the first drug ever synthesized in 1876. It today is been used in hospitals for cyanide poisoning. Back in the old days, it was used for treating malaria. In World War I, they used it in soldiers for UTIs, prostatitis, candida, tons of antibiotic uses. And so it has a vast history. And because it is approved as a drug, we kind of know all the side effects. It's used intravenously and also in oral doses in hospital and medical settings. So it's kind of an unusual thing. The reason I haven't talked about it, because usually I start talking about something when it first comes out. Methylene blue has been kind of growing in popularity for about 4 years. I took my first dose probably about 4 years ago because of some of the big research that tended to correlate the fact that if we use it, it may slow down dementia and maintain cognitive function, which is one of the potential benefits of that. So what is methylene blue as far as how does it work? If you listen to me very often, you hear a word called mitochondria. It is something that's in every single cell of our body. And what it does is the engine. It is the actual, like an engine in your car that has cylinders and runs on gas. It is the engine within every single cell of every living organism. We think we kind of eat foods and drink things to fuel the body. That isn't really true. What fuels the body is those foods have to turn into ATP, adenyl triphosphate, which is a fuel, which is the battery that runs the systems of everything in the mitochondria. Well, one thing that methylene blue does is it goes to the mitochondria. It protects it from damage, but it also does something that almost nothing else does. Just imagine, before I explain it fully, that you had a relative that was very wealthy, and every time your checking account got too low, your money would be deposited back into your account. How cool would that be? Well, in the body, we have electrons that are part of the atoms. It's part of how the whole system works. It really based on the universe. But in our body, we have these atoms, and they can be added or detracted by the use of the molecule methylene blue. Don't know, but it seems like there's nothing else available that can do that. And it's really how methylene blue's potential miracles can happen as far as helping us to feel better, lessening potential for cognitive decline like dementia and Alzheimer's, helping us to age slower, or what I use the word age gracefully. That's the miracle of perhaps methylene blue. Brain fog is humongous. And the virus that we all experienced years ago that is called long blank, it also has been rated as one of the top reasons to be doing methylene blue for people who just can't recover. Septic shock. It is potentially life-saving for that. It passes the brain barrier. Almost no nutrient even passes the brain barrier. Methylene blue does. And when it does, it can help the oxygen to function more efficiently within the body. When I take it in liquid form, I feel a calmness that comes on very quickly. I now do it in tablet because one of the side effects, which is not risky, is your urine will turn blue. And when you drink it, your teeth and tongue are blue. And because I talk to people all day long, it just was more convenient to switch to the tablets that are now available that weren't available 2 years ago. So as far as, should we all be taking methylene blue? No, I don't believe that. One is it's synthetic. I have a real connection to ancient wisdom is what I use the term. Kind of putting things into us that haven't been manipulated by anything but Mother Nature. Well, you're not going to find methylene blue growing on a field anywhere or off of a tree. However, I do also know that we need to weigh risk against benefit of everything we do. And we also need to be empowered to have our toolbox ready if things turn in a negative way, a challenged way with our health or those of loved ones, so that it's too late to research things when things go sour. So you need to be prepared by being empowered. And that's one of the things that I'm passionate about is empowering you and everyone on the cutting edge of options. Because don't expect your medical professional to be doing it. They can't. They have their role, but that role is not to be introducing things like this. So what are the downsides? Okay. Downsides are, I classify as three. And when you see other YouTube videos on this, you'll hear the two, but the third one that I came up with, so far no one's talked about this, and I think it's of great concern. First side effect is if you're on antidepressants, methylene blue does make a little more serotonin. There's a thing called serotonin syndrome. It isn't very pleasant. It can be dangerous. That's too much serotonin. Methylene blue, I do not absolutely, if you're on anything other than very low dose of serotonin drugs, do not do that. If you're on low dose, talk to your healthcare practitioner if they even know what this really means. Secondly is I'm concerned about the quality. Methylene blue is also sold as an aquarium cleaner. How does it do that? It's antifungal. I think a lot of us have funguses that never diagnosed. It's not easy to diagnose a fungus. And I think that maybe one of the other benefits of methylene blue is the fact that it's antifungal. But the product that is sold in aquarium stores are commercial grade. You have to always know that it needs to be pharmaceutical grade. USP is the words or letters you look for. This still doesn't guarantee in the end result, because we know that people tell things that aren't true. At Nutrition World, I demanded certificate of analysis. I demanded that we see lab reports of heavy metals and other toxins before we decided to carry the methylene blues. So again, across the board, we are committed to only carrying the very safest and highest quality products that possibly could be had. And thirdly is the one that I haven't heard anybody speak about. Just a few weeks ago, I did a pretty long podcast on the connection between oral health and cognitive and heart function. And I took a deep dive into that and was actually awakened to things that I had no clue about. What's going on here is also greatly affecting here and other diseases. And it made me actually change the way that I'm taking care of myself in regard to oral care. But the biggest part of that is the microbiome within the mouth and also within the intestines, and how that relates to many things that are causing a epidemic of disease. And my worry and concern is that methylene blue, being the molecule it is, which is used to kill pathogens, well, how much is that going to affect the good bacteria? And that was of great concern to me. So the more I delved into it, it seems that as long as you're at 20 milligrams or under, it doesn't negatively affect those bacteria. Above 20, especially at 30 to 50 to 80, significant change in some of those gut bacteria. So I am still cautious. I have chosen to not do it every day, but I always carry it with me. If I feel under the weather, I will say I jump on methylene blue at approximately 15 to 25 milligrams a day. Now, if I'm really under the weather, I'm not going to worry about that microbiome for the next 3 days. I want to get well, and I don't want to have to use regular antibiotics, because even one pill of that completely devastates the microbiome. There was a GI doc, Dr. Cheriskin. She wrote a book on microbiome, and she said it takes 1 year to really rebuild the microbiome from a full dose of antibiotics. 1 year. And that's doing a lot of the right things. So I want to be very cautious about that, because it's one of the keys to health. We cannot have these negative microbiomes in our mouth and our gut and expect to be healthy. I don't care how many nutrients you take and how much organic food you eat. So methylene blue, I'm, again, very, very pleased that it is available. And I want you to be cautious. I want you to be empowered. Look at other videos. Dr. Berg had a great one I looked at actually this morning. It explains it very well. But it's also one of those things I've seen for 46 years. It is right now being paraded as the cure-all. It's not, but it has a place, I think, in our healthcare. I certainly hope that more healthcare professionals learn the ins and outs of it and would recommend it. I love the fact that I feel calmer very quickly after taking it, a little bit more liquid than I did in the pills, but I love the fact that it will make my brain fog lessen significantly. If it does nothing else, that is miraculous when you just got to do a lot of work and you're just kind of slugging through those words and they don't want to come out. So there you are. You got another piece to add into the toolbox because honestly, if we don't put our own toolbox together, we become victims and then we become very susceptible to things that maybe down the road we might regret. So be your own expert and then put together a team of people that you trust. So here we are at Nutrition World, nutritionw.com. We are here as a partner on your journey to health. Thank you.